हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Welcome to all to your team. Uh,
ओम
Om
नमो।
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam. Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire. Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam Canto First. Chapter 17, Punishment and Reward of Kali. Shloka number 30 to 31. Hare Krishna. Patitam padayoho viraha
पतितं पादयो वीरः
krupaya deenavatsalaha
कृपया दीनवत्सलः
sharanyah na avadhita
शरण्यनावधीतः
shlokya aha chaidam asan eva
श्लोक्य आह च इदं हसन् इव।
raja uvacha
राजा उवाच
na te gudakesha yasho dharanam
न ते गुडाकेश यशोधराणाम्
बद्ध अंजले वै भयम अस्ति किंचित
बद्ध अंजलेः वही भयम् अस्ति किंचित्।
न वर्तितव्यं भवता कथंचन
न वर्तितव्यं भवता कथंचन।
क्षेत्रे मदीयत्वम् अधर्म बंधुः
क्षेत्रे मदीये त्वम् अधर्मबन्धुः।
त्वां वर्तमानं नर देव देहेषु
त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेवदेहेषु
अणुप्रवृत्त अयम् अधर्म पूगः
अनुप्रवृत्तः अयमधर्मपूगः।
लोभ अनृतं चौर्यम् अनार्यम् अहः
लोभः चौर्यम् अनार्यम् अहः।
ज्येष्ठः च माया कलह च दम्भः
ज्येष्ठा च माया कलह च दम्भः।
पतितं पादयोः विरह
पतितं पादयोः विरह
कृपया दीनवत्सलः
कृपया दीनवत्सलः
शरण्यन अवधीत श्लोक्य
शरण्यनावधीत श्लोक्यः
आह च इदं हसन इव
आह च हसन् इवः।
राजा उवाच
राजा उवाच
न ते गुडाकेश यशोधराणाम्
न ते गुडाकेश यशधराणाम्
बद्ध अंजले वै भयम् अस्ति किंचित
बद्धाञ्जलि वै वैः भयम् अस्ति किंचित्।
न वर्तितव्यं भवता कथंचन
न वर्तितव्यं भवता कथंचन।
क्षेत्रे मदीये त्वम् अधर्म बंधुः
क्षेत्रे मदीये त्वमधर्मबन्धुः।
त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेव देहेषु
त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेवदेहेषु
अणुप्रवृत्त अयम् अधर्म पूगः
अनुप्रवृत्त अयम् अधर्मपूगः।
लोभ अनृत चौर्यम् आर्यम् अहम् अहोः
लोभः चौर्यम्
हम अहो
अनार्यम्
हम
अहोः।
अहो ज्येष्ठा ज्येष्ठा च माया कलह च दम्भः
ज्येष्ठा च माया कलह च दम्भः।
पतितं पादयो विरह कृपया दीनवत्सलः शरण्यन अवधीत श्लोक्यः आह च इदं हसन् इव राजा उवाच न ते गुडाकेश यशोधराणां बद्ध अंजलेः वै भयम् अस्ति किंचित् न वर्तितव्यं भवता कथंचन क्षेत्रे मध्ये त्वम् अधर्म बन्धुः त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेव देहेषु अणुप्रवृत्त अयम् अधर्म पूगः लोभ अनृतं चौर्यम् अनार्यम् ज्येष्ठा च माया कलह च दम्भः हरे
पतितं
कृष्ण
पादयो वीरः कृपया दीनवत्सलः शरण्यनावधिकशो श्लोक्यः आह च इदं हसन् इव। राजः उवाच न ते गुडाकेश यशोधराणां बद्धाञ्जले वै भयमस्ति किञ्चित्। न वर्तितव्यं भवता कथञ्चन क्षेत्रे मत्ईये त्वम् अधर्मबन्धुः। त्वां वर्तमानं देहेषु अनुप्रवृत्तः अयमधर्मपूगः। लोभः नृतं चौर्यम् अनार्यम् अहज्येष्ठा च माया कलह च दम्भ।
Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Mahārāja Parīkṣit, who was qualified to accept, surrender, and worthy of being sung in history, did not kill the poor surrender and fallen Kali, but smiled compassionately, for he was kind to the poor. The king thus said, "We have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Therefore, since you have surrendered yourself with folded hands, you need not fear for your life. But you cannot remain in my kingdom, for you are the friend of irreligion. If the personality of Kali, irreligious, is allowed to act as a man, god, or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, uh, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound. Purport. Even an ordinary kṣatriya does not kill a surrender person, and what to speak of Maharaj Parikshit, who was by nature compassionate and kind to the poor. He was smiling because the artificially dressed Kali had disclosed his identity as a lower class man, and he was thinking how ironic it was that although no one was saved from his sharp sword when he desired to kill, the poor lower class Kali was spared by his timely surrender. Maharaj Parikshit's glory and kindness are therefore sung in history. He was a kind of compassionate emperor, fully worthy of accepting surrender even from his enemy. Thus, the personality of Kali was saved by the will of providence. The personality of Kali, who is the friend of all kind of irreligiosities, may be excused if he surrenders. But in all circumstances, he cannot be allowed to live as a citizen in any part of a welfare state. The Pandavas were interested in representatives of the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, who practically brought into being the battle of Kurukshetra, but not for any personal interest. He wanted an ideal king like Maharaj Yudhishthir and his descendants like Maharaj Parikshit to rule the world. And therefore, a responsible king like Maharaj Parikshit could not allow the friend of irreligiosity to flourish in his kingdom at the cost of the good fame of the Pandavas. That is the way of wiping out corruption in the state, and not otherwise. The friends of irreligiosity should be banished from the state, and that will save the state from corruption. The principles of religious, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, as we have already discussed, may be followed by the follower of any faith. There is no need to turn from Hindu to Mohammedan to Christian or some other faith, and thus become a renegade and not follow the principle of religion. The Bhagavatam religion urges following the principles of religion. The principles of religion are not the dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. Such regulative principles may be different in terms of the time and place concerned. One has to see whether the aims of religion have been achieved. Sticking to the dogmas and formulas without attaining the real principles is not good. A, a secular state may be impartial to any particular type of faith, but cannot be indifferent to the principles of irreligion as above mentioned. But in the age of Kali, the executive heads of the state will be indifferent to such religious principles, and therefore, under their patronage, the opponents of religious principles such as greed, falsehood, cheating, and pilfery will naturally follow. And so there will be no meaning to propaganda crying to stop corruption in the state. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakammalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desha Tarine Vancha Kalpatarubhecha कृपा सिंधुवे एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Shloka number 30 to 32. In this shloka, when Parikshit Maharaj taking the his when Parikshit Maharaj uh, saw that Kali in the dress of king, he surrender, accept his dressing and accept surrender and doing the pray. Then they laughed and they told him who is uh, he he means Parikshit Maharaj is the um, uh,
Hare Krishna.
heritated of the fame of Arjun, and so no there is nothing to fear about his life. And what they speak again, Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So here we say that Kali, because he could not fight Parikshit Maharaj, as we all know, he is Mahārāja. So that is something which we saw yesterday. So Kali thought it wise, better to surrender. Jaan hai to jahan hai. And so he had surrendered. But look at Parikshit Maharaj. He was so qualified, he was so strong, and he knew that the mistake has been done by Kaliyuga. He should be punished. But at the same time, he was also having an additional quality. And that quality was his qualification to accept surrenders. And that is why he is worthy of being sung in history. That is why we don't study, we don't get details of any other persons in history. But Maharaj Parikshit, he has become so famous. So these are all his qualities which has made him famous. And that is why he did not kill the surrendered fallen Kali. In fact, he smiled compassionately because he was also kind to the poor. And then he said his decision. He knew that he was carrying the burden of the inheritance of the fame of Arjuna. So now Arjuna never killed someone who was not able to protect himself. And here, Kali had also surrendered with folded hands. So Maharaj Parikshit obviously had to accept the surrenderance. And so he said, you need not fear for your life. But at the same time, Parikshit Maharaj was very righteous. And he understood that if Kali is allowed to live, what all problems can arise. He knew that Kali is a friend of irreligion. And if he is present, and if someone like him becomes an executive head, then the irreligious principles will increase. And 9 irreligious principles are something which get documented in this shloka. So it is GFR, greed, falsehood, robbery, and then ITM, incivility, treachery, misfortune, and the last three are CQV, cheating, quarrel, and vanity. Now, here we understand many aspects about Mahārāja Parīkṣit. First and foremost, even if it were any other normal, ordinary kṣatriya, then ideally, a normal kṣatriya will never kill anyone who is surrendered. And Mahārāja Parīkṣit was compassionate, he was kind to poor, and that is why he had to accept the surrenders. But then when it is said Smitahas, yeah, that is smiling, the Guru Maharaj and the seniors in the parampara, they indicate that there is a different reason for his smiling. It's not that he was just smiling out of kindness. No. The smiling was because Kali, he had initially taken up the dress of a ruler, a kshatriya, a king. He was artificially dressed. But then as soon as the situation came, he disclosed his identity as a Shudra. And here, in that position, he surrendered. Now, Maharaj Parikshit was thinking, till now, no one who has made a mistake, whom I have desired to kill, has been saved till date. But here, the Shudra is being spared by me because of his timely surrender. Even if there was, say, a second of delay in surrender, he would not have been alive to surrender and no Kaliyuga at all. And that is why, because of this irony, Maharaj Parikshit was smiling. So, timely activities. Time is essence. And Krishna says, if you remember in Bhagavad Gita, Kalaha, Asmi, Kalaha, he gives multiple examples of how he is the time and as well as he is the death. So time is important. And these qualities actually become very significant of Parikshit Maharaj. His glory, his kindness, it has become so famous in history. He was a compassionate emperor. He was kind. And so even enemies would be more than happy to accept surrender in front of him. So when Kali has surrendered, it was actually the will of providence that he be saved. The other aspect which comes up here is also significant, that a true ruler never acts out of vengeance but upholds justice with compassion. And now just contrast it with what we see in today's world. Government changes, the politicians, they try to cut down the other party which was there in the earlier as a ruling party. And that is why Kaliyuga is such a deteriorated condition. That is why it is said that there should be some qualifying examination before any politician can try to become even a councillor. They should have passed Bhagavatam exam so that they know what a ruler is, what Parikshit Maharaj is. Now, in relation to Parikshit Maharaj, Din Vatsala word is also used here. So it is very significant. It is signifying his nature of being affectionate towards the distressed. So anyone who is distressed, Parikshit Maharaj is there for them, for their sake. And he is an ideal devotee, someone who had been saved by Krishna. So what it also indicates is that herein is a teaching for a devotee of the Lord who should not unnecessarily harm anyone, even a wrongdoer, if they show repentance. The ideal quality of a leader is firm in principles but kind at heart. That is what we need to develop in the society. Otherwise, Kali, who is the friend of irreligiosities, he will be progressing. He is excused because he is surrendered. But he should not, in any circumstances, be allowed to live as a citizen in any part of a welfare state. A reference here is made to Arjuna. Now, Arjuna or the Pandavas, as we all know, they are interested representatives of Krishna, the personality of Godhead. In fact, Krishna arranged for the wall of Kurukshetra and he made the Pandavas fight it, but not for their personal interest. They were fighting not for self, but for Krishna. Because Krishna wanted an ideal king like Maharaj Yudhishthir and his descendants like Mahārāja Parīkṣit to rule the world. So, a ruler like Mahārāja Parīkṣit obviously could not allow the friend of irreligiosity to flourish in his kingdom, and that too at the cost of the good fame of the Pandavas. And that is why he declared to Kali that you cannot stay here. So, those who talk of wiping out corruption, India against corruption, for them, this is the lesson. It should be the friends of irreligiosity who should be banished from the state. Then only the state can be saved from corruption. The leaders should never tolerate unrighteousness, should create an atmosphere where dharma flourishes. Because if dharma is not there, then we have Kali, adharma bandhu. This is a very significant word in this shloka. It means companion of religion, irreligion, friend of irreligion, adharma bandhu. So this indicates that Kali is not the direct cause of irreligion, but he is its close associate. And that is where the ray of hope is for us. That the irreligion can only enter where there is an opening for it. So if dharma is upheld strictly, Kali has no power. And that is what we have to strive for. Principles of religion, ACMT that we talk about, austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness, they are such that they can be followed by anyone and everyone. It is not that it is only for, say, the Sanatan Dharmis, Sanatanis or Hindus. In fact, throughout the world, we find so many convergence, religious convergence happening. People turning from Hindu to Mohammedan to Christian to some other religion, some other faith. But what happens is they simply become renegade and they do not follow the principles of religion. And that is where the cycle continues. Contrast this with Bhagavatam, which urges following the principles of religion. They are not dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. They may be different in terms of time and place concerned, but one has to see whether the aims of religion have been achieved or not. Because just sticking to the dogmas and formulas without attaining the real principle is not at all good. We may be impartial to any particular type of faith, but it cannot be indifferent to the principles of religion. Because currently the executive heads are indifferent, therefore, under their patronage, the opponents of religious principles, the 9 things that we saw, greed, falsehood, cheating, pilfery, they are being followed. So, that is the cause. So, what are the key qualities associated with Kali? Lobha, greed, so excessive material desires, dishonesty, corruption. Second is Anruta, falsehood, lack of truthfulness in society, deception, behavior. Third is Chauriam, thievery, the rise of crimes, dishonest dealings, exploitation. Anaryamanho, that is irreligious acts, people abandoning moral principles for selfish gain. Then we have Maya, deception, manipulation and cunning behavior to gain advantages. Then we have Kalaha, that is quarrel, constant conflicts, disputes, and misunderstandings in society. And Dambha, hypocrisy, pretending to be virtuous while actually secretly engaging in unrighteous acts. So actually these shlokas are making us understand three important aspects out here. One, compassion and justice go hand in hand. Two, a true leader protects dharma. And thirdly, how we need to understand the influence of Kaliyuga. Maharaj Parīkṣit demonstrates how a ruler must balance justice with kindness. He forgives Kali, but does not permit irreligion to flourish. The duty of a king is to ensure righteousness prevailing in society. When dharma is strong, adharma cannot find a place. And the vices described, they are visible in today's world. But by following dharma, we can remain unaffected by the negative influence of Kali Yuga. So the question naturally comes is, what is the solution in Kali Yuga? Now, for that, if we refer Srimad Bhagavatam 12th Canto 3rd chapter 51st Shloka, it offers a simple solution to counteract the influence of Kali Yuga. Kali nashtya bhavishyanti kirtanena hare nama. So it says, by the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, the effects of Kali will be destroyed. So the best way to counter the evils of Kali Yuga is to take shelter of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the great remedy which is given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared in Kali Yuga to distribute the supreme dharma, the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. By following these principles, we can remain unaffected by the negative forces of this age and progress on the path of spiritual enlightenment. And that is why this continuous association, continuous reading of the scriptures, chanting of the holy names, ensuring that we take only Krishna Prasadam and engaging in some service or the other is very, very important. So let us continue doing this ABCDE and meet again tomorrow 8 p.m. at the same channel. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.